Nice. It's the only thing, said the water rat solemnly, as he leapt forward for his stroke. Believe me, my young friend, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, half so much worth doing as simply messing about in boats. Simply messing, he went on dreamily. Messing about in boats. Hi, I'm Carrie from the Junk Journal and Bramble Society. In today's video, it's going to be, essentially it's a haul, but it's a haul from my French holiday. It's a craft haul, but then there's also going to be a few pictures. Where we go is so photogenic and pretty, so it gives me a lot of inspiration. So I thought I'd add a few bits and pieces from the holiday. So hopefully you enjoy. It's going to take me a while to edit this because I did a lot of talking. For an introvert, it's amazing how much I can talk about junk journaling and junk journal supplies. So hopefully I can get it cut down to something that's not too long for you guys to watch. Enjoy the video. Part 1, disclaimer and haul items. I've had some real fun trying to explain to my mum what a video haul is. I like watching craft hauls because I like to see, people often give a lot of ideas when they're talking about what they bought and give, why they bought them. If I can find some items that are quite good value, then for me, accessibility of arts and crafts supplies is important. It's partly the reason I probably got into the junk journaling because, you're reusing, repurposing. I find some craft items and supplies are so expensive. Doing it as a small hobby, it's really hard to justify spending a lot on craft things. So, I hope when I'm doing a haul, it's not for sort of a showing off, look what I've bought perspective. It's maybe look what I've bought in a secondhand shop and you can reuse it. And so when I'm buying, I'm definitely got all those thoughts in my head. So all that being said, I'm going to get started. So on the first Sunday when we got there, we visited a local village. It's a very beautiful local village. It's got a gorgeous chateau. I will insert a picture of the chateau now. There might be a couple of other pictures because it's so photogenic, this place. And we just go on the Sundays. We're normally pretty tired still from the journey, from the drive. We take the ferry and drive over. So we're normally pretty tired. But on the Sunday we like to get up and go to the cafe and have a coffee. They have in the local town to where we go, they have what we call charity shops or a thrift shop for Americans called Emmaus, which is it's an amazing charity. It's for the homeless, and I know we definitely have an Emmaus where I live in Yorkshire. So I don't know whether it's an international charity, but yeah, I think it's a Catholic charity as well, which makes sense being in rural France. It's recently changed location. So most people would be junk, but it's old vintage junk, French junk. And then you kind of have to rummage, you have to be really in the mood. And they had a good book section. So from the Emmaus, as I said, they have in the past had a lot more stuff. So I used to come back from the Emmaus with sort of armsfuls of books, but I always had to be quite reserved because we had to get them back to England, so I couldn't go too crazy, even though the prices were amazing. I don't know whether I've actually used any of them, but at some point, I might do a big book collection. I don't know whether anybody else will be interested in that, but I love books. I think a lot of it's strange for some people that as a lot of people that get into junk journaling love paper and love books. The idea that they come along and start taking them apart, but there's so many books out there that if they're in good condition, I won't take them apart. But there have been some really lovely old books that are just literally falling apart, and they're just gonna crumble away. So I like to repurpose those ones. The one thing that I got from the Emmaus this time, and they're lovely. These are some old sort of cards. They're actually advertising hot chocolate, but I don't know whether they were they must have come like as a collectible, a bit like cigarette cards. But to me, they just scream French. The style, the pictures. I don't know. I don't know how old these are. They are pretty flimsy, but I just love the images on them. I don't think in the end I think I paid about €4 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, and which is quite expensive for Emmaus because the norm is basically a charity shop, but I couldn't resist them, and it's an amazing charity, so I don't mind. So one of them has got some writing on here. I should really try and translate it, but I haven't so far. I don't know whether somebody's given it to somebody. I just love the imagery. So yeah, I have got a very small collection of scraps. I'll probably put these with them. I can't see me using them, to be honest, in the junk journal, but I could scan them. I don't think there'd be a problem with me scanning them and then using them, so that's probably what I'll do. I'll just put them back in the envelope. We visited a store called Action, which is what I would say in England, it's similar to The Range. It's like a general household store, but for some reason they have an amazing craft section. I know unfortunately you guys in England can't get things from there, but I enjoy looking at craft supplies, and some of them is sort of really good, so I want to share that. So we actually went to Action 2 times, so I'm going to first of all show you what I got on the first trip when I was trying to be quite restrained. On the second time we went, there was my niece with me, and normally what I do in a shop is I go around and put everything that I want in a basket, and then at the end do an edit where I look at everything again and just decide what I want, so I can sort of be intentional about what I'm buying. So the first thing I got was, I use this quite a lot. This was a pack of washi tape. So you got 5 rolls, each with 5 meters, and this was 69 cents. I will try and remember to put the English equivalent up on the screen while I'm doing this, but it was opened, and I actually made a really quick trashy journal while I was in France, just because I love crafting. So I got the idea for the trashy journal from Thrifty Days, and I think she had got the idea from Rebecca Hoot on YouTube. So if you're wanting to learn more about how they make it, then I'd definitely go over to one of their videos. But this is it. I mean, I chucked in really trashy stuff. The second thing I want to talk about is this really unassuming bottle of tacky glue. It's by a company called Creation. This is really good stuff, and it was only 99 cents. To me, the glue is what it says. It's like tacky glue, and if this was sold in shops near me, I'd definitely be buying and getting a load and using it. It's got a really good dispenser on it that gives out a really thin amount of glue, and it's to me it was comparable, not quite the same as art glitter glue, but it's really good little glue and for the price. And then I got these booklets of sorry Ratty, these booklets of mixed paper styles. These were the A5 size, and they've got 42 sheets, and it's a mixture of vellum type paper, some cardstock, and there's also some paper in there. I got 3 of these on the first time that went, and these were €1.85. Yeah, some really cute little designs. Now this is Deco Time is the make of a lot of the paper items that I got from Action. Now I have looked them up on the internet and you can't get them online, unfortunately, because they're really cheap. Is this Deco Time brand? The only thing that I've been able to find in England by the brand are these markers these were from B&M, and they do in B&M they do have a lot of the other types of markers as well. These were £4, which is slightly more expensive, I think, than you could get them in France. But yeah, it'd be great to see more of this brand because they're really decent. Pens are good fun. So yeah, I got 3 different designs in that paper. Really lovely. Again, another pad. I used quite a lot of this in the junk journal that I did. Again from Deco Time. So it's 170. It's one-sided. That's one of the downfalls. And this was €1.39. Yes, there's 36 sheets. You get 2 of each design, but they're really quite pastely bright colours, which is lovely for summer. I love the daisies page. I've kept them. I've hoarded them. I don't want to use them. So yeah, for really amazing for €1.39. I got some. This is a different brand. This is called Craft Sensations. This is some luxury cardstock. This was €1.59 for 30 pages. It's 220 GSM. It's 15 by 30 centimetres and has 12 colours. But if you don't know whether you can pick up the texture on these, really decent cardstock. And my sister loves to make birthday cards, and while we were there, what she did was she just took one of these sheets and folded it in half, and you get a nice square card that she was using for some birthday cards she wanted to make. The last thing I got when on that time were, again, look, it's the Deco Time make with these paper die cut books. Now, this to me is such an ingenious idea. Some of the pages are a bit twee for my liking, but I can definitely make them work. So you literally, reminds me of the old paper dolls that you used to get. The little images, so a bit like, you know, if you get an ephemera digital and you get the little decorative pieces, then that's what this is like. Let me find one and I'll take one out. But yeah, really good idea. And they've even got like different textures, so some of them are matte, some of them are glossy. I don't know how they've done that, but really clever. Yeah, let's just take, like, there's this frame here. I'll take this out. The middle comes out. Now, I don't know whether you can see on here, but you do get the little bits where the die cut, where they're being joined. I just take a little small pair of nail scissors and I just clip these off, and you can make that look cleaner. And if they've got a little bit more white than you want, you can just cut that down. But I just thought, what a really clever idea. It'd be really cool to, you know, way of selling little decorative pieces for junk journals and for card makers, I suppose, and other crafts as well. Yeah, I really like those. And they had they only had 2 different versions, so I got the 2. There's 24 pages and it's on 170 GSM like card, so it's decent weight. Clever idea. Deco Time. A quick intermission. Nice. It's the only thing, said the water rat solemnly, as he leapt forward for his stroke. Believe me, my young friend, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, half so much worth doing as simply messing about in boats. Simply messing, he went on dreamily. Messing about in boats. The quote at the beginning of the video is from one of my favourite books. It is, to me, it's completely whimsical and comforting. It's The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. If you haven't read it, I would highly recommend it. It is a children's book. We had it on a tape cassette when I was younger, and I remember listening to it before I went to sleep. If you're not a reader, there has been several cartoons and films made from the book. You can probably find some on YouTube. One of my favourites was a stop motion animation by the company Crossgrove Hall Productions. They used proper miniature sets. So they actually originally set out just doing a film called Wind in the Willows, and then I think because of the success of that, then they brought out a series. It's actually a book from the series. I don't know much about animation, but they actually had, I don't know how big the characters were, but they were able to manipulate their eyes and the mouth. It's just I love the music. I love the little characters, and they used all the little miniatures on the set. Part 2. Some more haul items. On the second time we I went to the Action shop and I got quite a few more bits and pieces. So first of all, I got these colouring books. I don't know whether you can see the whole of them. They are quite big. They're bigger than A4. And they've got these. It's a really, again, this is another clever idea. They've got the picture by Vincent van Gogh. Vincent van Gogh is one of my favourite painters. Obviously, he did the sunflowers. I love the bright colours in his paintings. But at some point, I definitely want to do a Van Gogh journal. So when I saw these, I thought, well, these would be perfect for using. I could even use them as pages in the junk journal. But these were only 99¢, so I ended up getting 2 of these. Look at that. And then you got look at the end page, which gives you so you could use this. Cut these out and use this. Yeah, I really like them. So in the other sections at Action, they had a party section, and I saw these bright coloured party bags. So look at all these really cool bright colours. They're definitely more of for me, they're definitely more of a summer theme. Unicorns. Yeah, and they're really cute. I have a thing about buying. I need to work out more ways of using paper bags in journals, because I have a thing about buying them because they're just, some of them have got such lovely designs. With these ones, I have used one of these, and I took it apart and just took the paper off and used the paper by itself. And they also come with some gorgeous little stickers as well to use. If you go to places like The Range and other household type shops, check out the party section, because some of, the serviettes, I've even bought tablecloths, the paper tablecloths. You can find some really cool stuff in that section. So these, you got 10 each and in each bag, and they were 69. Also bought a couple more of these pads. Again, I just couldn't resist because of the vellum pages really in them, which is really unusual. And actually, to be honest, the card again is really pretty. Look at this. These have got some nice, like the cherries, lovely designs. Oh, I like the lemons. I bought these sticker books, which I thought would be good to use in like a planner journal. I've got a little elastic to keep them shut, but there's just lots of cool stickers. These were only 99¢. So, all the usual type of thing that you could to cheer up a planner. Quite pastel-y. Again, these are more like summer colours to me, so I might save these for next summer. Yeah. The others the same, just slightly different designs. So got those. I thought they have got foil in them, which I have mixed feelings about things with foil in, but for a planner where you're just using it for jotting down ideas and things, then that's fine. My voice is going, so oh no. So I got another scrapbook pad. It's got 30 sheets in, different weights. I've got some that are glitter pages, some that are more like cardstock, some are more like paper, but some really cool, bright, more summer type of designs. So this will probably go away till next summer unless I want to make some birthday cards. It's funny looking at these now because I've already got I'm fully into autumn. I've got all the autumn colours, autumn nail varnish, all my autumn clothes out. So this was actually bought during summer. So mind you, you never know. I might need some glitter card for Christmas. But they're really good value, these scrapbooks, which is why I do buy them. I did fall into the trap of using scrap book paper as pages in my journals when I first started making them, and you soon find that they are a bit too thick, really. When you're adding all the decorations and ephemera in, it just becomes too thick. I'll probably show you some of my earlier journals at some point. I did actually make a Wind in the Willows. That was one of my first journals that I made, which is gorgeous, but it's just really thick. I don't think I quite finished it, and it was already really sort of bulking out a lot. I've got to say, so this was €1.99 for 30 sheets. I recently went into the range, which is, the equivalent in England, and there's nothing as cheap as this in the scrapbook section. I think the cheapest one was smaller than this, and it was about £2.98, and that had been reduced. So yeah, I don't know how they managed to make it so cheap, and it's really lovely quality. It is only one-sided. That's the downside. If I was going to use these in a journal, I would just I probably would coffee stain them. So finally, again, I couldn't resist buying a couple more of these because I just thought they're really ingenious. The final thing that I got, just from the supermarket, because I love looking at the stationery sections in French supermarket. Going when we were little, and we used to, before we were going back to go to school, I used to love picking out a pencil case, and they'd have some really good sales in France. But I purchased a load of craft paper, and this ended up being about €4. It's a really big wad of paper. I do like the graph paper and using them as sort of pages in journals. I have tried to coffee dye some of these in the past. I don't know whether it would happen with this, but when you coffee dye them, the lines just disappear. It must be something to do with the ink that they use. And this isn't something that you can get a lot in England. They like the graph paper in France. I am on no clothes buy, but when we were in France, we visited the H&M. I wasn't intending on buying anything. We were looking for my niece, but I ended up seeing this shirt. Hopefully you can see the pattern on it. It has brambles on it. It also has pears and some dragonflies. But it was just too much of a coincidence that going in there, and I'd been thinking about this channel for a long time, and I saw the brambles on this shirt. It's a lovely oversized sort of peasant type shirt. It was €17.99 from H&M. I actually nearly forgot to show my favourite thing that I got for the holiday. I was very excited about. And at the time of buying, I did declare that I was in love with this item. So it's in this bag. Can you see? I kept it in this bag because I knew I wanted to do this video. So it's been sat in my craft room like this, waiting for me to do this video, which is quite good because it has protected it and it's protected what's inside. So here we go. I'm trying to do this carefully. It's quite delicate. We went back to the village. We like to go on a Sunday to have a drink in the cafe, overlooking the beautiful chateau. And the second time we went, it was actually the market day. I think it's something cute, like every first Sunday of the month they have a brocante in the village, and sometimes it's busier, sometimes it's not so busier, but there was just a couple of stalls this time that I looked at, and on a separate table to the rest of this stall, a guy had two photo albums, and now I'm not very good. I like to know the prices of things, and I'm quite a bit of an introvert, so going up and asking the price of something in France on a French stall is not something that I would do every day. But when I saw this, I was like, okay, I have to do it. I have to find out how much it is, because if I don't, I'll know I'll regret it. So yeah, I went up to the guy, asked him how much this was, and he said €30. And I'd only seen one page of it, and I was like, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. I think my mum did try to encourage me to negotiate a price, but for me, I was happy with I was more than happy to pay €30 because I don't know why, but I thought it would say a lot more. Normally the prices in these book haunts are quite high because I'm an eBay girl, so I like to get things at a reasonable price. So I saw this on the stall, asked the guy €30. I was like, right, and I'd only actually seen one page, so I think it was probably this page that it was open on. It is really dusty, but that doesn't bother me. Old dusty books, dust in other situations I can't stand, but dusty old books, I don't know why, it's fine for me. So it's an old photo album, and I mean, these are the earliest pictures on this page. It goes back to I think that says 1894. And to me, this is such a treasure because I've worked out where all these pictures were taken, and it's very close to where we go to. And I could tell by, the architecture of the buildings, the geography of the region is very similar to ours. So to see people in these settings that are really familiar to me, but from, over 100 years ago, are just absolutely fascinating. I'm trying to work out how all these people are related. I just think it's so sad that I've ended up with, and it's been, it's the family don't have it. It's not in the family anymore. That does make me sad, but I will cherish this. Just seeing the old clothes that they used to wear. And for me, I think some of them are quite unusual pictures. So we've got two pictures here, and they do look quite old. And looking at comparing them to the other pictures, there are people in bed, which all the photos that I have previously collected from the Victorian period are very structured, and people sat on chairs looking very formal. And this just, yeah, I don't know whether these are dated, but it's interesting seeing there's such informal pictures. This one, again, it's got the vine leaves on. So for me, I love that. I'd love to be able to research and get to know more about these people. There's it looks like an Easter parade there, or some sort of, all the young girls in the dresses. And then there's this one here of, looks like French troops. Been trying to work out what the context is, because it could be World War One, but then it looks kind of earlier than that. I might be wrong. Not all the pages are filled, and a lot of the pictures have fallen out. But yeah, look at that. That's proper. To me, that's so interesting. The social history connected. Again, more old of the buildings with the vines. Somebody fishing. That could be on the Loire River. So I won't bore you for too long, because I could literally go through all of these pictures individually and just discuss how I find each one so fascinating. It's not a full album by any means, but there's loads, and for €30, I think it was, I did really well. I may at some point want to scan some of these pictures. I don't want to damage them by taking them out of the album, and I would like the album to stay intact. So it might be a case of, if I can, carefully removing them from the background and then putting them back in so that it stays a full collection. Yeah, a lot of the pages at the back, these are all empty, but yeah, there's loads. There's a chunk here that have all come out. I'd like to put them back in, maybe scan them and put them back in. So there might be a digitised I know very little about digitising things and selling them on Etsy. It's not something I've done before, but there might be a French cabinet card collection coming out at some point. This is another one of my favourite pictures of them, the horse and the. I'd love to know the context of those. So yeah, this is definitely an exciting find. I would like to sort of keep it together and preserve it. That's it for my French haul. A lot of these things have just been sat in a bag because I really wanted to do this video and finally got around to doing it today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. The next video that I'm doing will have the autumn theme. It will probably be coming out quite late. Eventually I'd like to catch up with myself so that I'm getting content out before the season's actually over. But it's really hard when you're being seasonal because, you know, a lot of what I'm inspired by are the going out and the leaves, and I won't get into too much detail because I don't want to give away the next video. I'm going out into the woods and I'm getting things, bringing it back, and it's inspiring me. So it's really hard to get things out in a timely way when you're following the seasons and being inspired by what's out there at the moment. But hopefully you'll still find it relaxing and cozy and calming. So yeah, my first haul video. I'm not sure, I've probably talked too much. It's going to be difficult to edit, but hopefully I'll get better at this as I go along. Thank you for watching. Until next time, please take care of yourselves. Get cozy. One of our favourite family sayings. Get cozy and take care. Bye bye.